All right, we're going to move it on to we love lists.
Ah!
I mean, we love lists.
Yes.
Oh, a good list.
Now, usually we react to other people's lists and say how stupid they are.
Yes.
Right.
We're going to do it a little differently today.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you guys to rank the Browns' skills position players, which we've determined are wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. In the AFC, are they top 3 in the AFC? Are they top 5? Are they top 10? Mike, you seem like you're highly engaged with this
No,
question.
I'm not starting
Go,
off.
you're starting us
You were
off. You've been
grabbing notes
volunteered.
and you were
Come on,
really
let's go.
excited about this.
We want you
No,
first.
No, I don't know. I really can't. I don't know the whole comparison thing. I don't know every single skill position in the AFC, but here's what I see. I'm scared of Cincinnati, and I think that could be that they're terrifying to me. Their wide receivers are obviously that's a better situation. Although I do think Mixon's a bit overrated. He hasn't had. I mean, he had one really good year, but he's obviously a threat. And then I'd put, probably Buffalo, I guess. And then I think probably Browns number 3.
Over Kansas City.
Over Kansas City just because they lost. I feel like they lost a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, those would be my top 3.
All right.
G?
Top 3. This one is tough for me because I look from roster to roster. I look at what Josh Allen is able to do, right? They got Diggs. Not much of a running game, but the passing game is damn good. I got to put them coming in. I would put them at number 2 right now. Kansas City.
Wait, you would put Buffalo at number 2 or Cleveland number 2?
No, Buffalo at number 2.
Who's number 1?
Well,
you're going up.
Yeah, we're
I
going
see
up.
what you're doing.
I still gotta put them doggone Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. I'll put them at 1. Kansas City, they did lose Tyreek Hill. They did get Juju Smith-Schuster, but Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think losing Tyreek Hill I think that can get them to a point where they may not necessarily make the Super Bowl, but they'll still be an AFC championship.
They still have Kelsey.
They still got Kelsey. They'll still be there. Hardman if Hardman doesn't do anything, that's gonna be all on him to take that position. At 3 is where I really come down to the Bengals or the Browns, right? Because the Bengals have shown me that they can have what it takes. Anytime you got a guy like Joe Burrow can throw for 500 yards back-to-back weeks, and he did it against Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I take a look at they by far have the best receivers in the division. They have the best receiving core in the AFC. So if you take a look at that and look what they have, I would put them at 3, and I would then put the Browns kind of a little bit below them just for the simple fact that you have to factor this in. I don't know when Deshaun Watson is ever going to play.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, we're not including quarterback.
No, wide
right?
receivers, tight
It's
ends,
just
and
running back, wide
But,
receiver.
yeah, but still,
But
he's saying the
still.
wide receivers will be better
okay.
with
I got
Watson.
you.
So if Watson ain't going to play, Jacoby Brissett is throwing to
Right.
these guys. So you have to take that into consideration.
Donovan Peoples-Jones becomes a lot better receiver, and that's a different conversation.
And the Browns have the best running back, but if you're looking at the best running back group, but the totality of it, I gotta put them at number 4 if I had to pick it.
Do you know Cincinnati's tight end's name currently?
Yes, it's.
Who is it?
Well, he's a fan.
No,
It's,
drawing a blank on it. They just signed him from the.
he got hurt
He was at the
last year.
Ravens, and
It's
he.
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst, right. couldn't
But
think
that's
of
my
it.
point. That's the other weak spot probably. Who knows?
He's decent. He's
but
a
who
decent
knows?
tight end.
You don't know how that guy's going to.
Yeah,
you
no.
know? So, but that was the other thing at Cincinnati is I don't know what's going on there.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Their receivers are too. Like, you can look at Higgins, you look at Chase, and you look at Joe Mixon. Now, you can argue whether Joe Mixon, where he's at in that pecking order, but that right there, that's a running game. The offensive line has gotten better. And on top of that, they got the 3 best receivers. If Hayden Hurst can give him anything, they'll be in that mix. For me, I still have to go with the Kansas City Chiefs because I know what Kelsey can do. I know what Patrick Mahomes is going to do. Now, here their problem is, are they going to run the ball a lot? When you look at the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not going to run the ball. They're not going to beat you up. The Browns' running game really carries them. I think it's a 3A or 3B between Cincinnati and Cleveland when you talk about the skill positions because I like Njoku better than I like Hurst.
All right.
Where you got 'em?
There's some really good ones that you guys have left out. Let me mention a few. The Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
They got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
They've got Hunter Renfrow, who's a very underrated wide receiver.
And is only going to be better
Only
with
gonna get
Adams
better.
in that offense.
They, of these teams, besides Kansas City, because Kansas City is not in my top 5 anymore.
Wow.
At best, they're 5th. So Oakland, for me, is 4th. Okay, they've got Darren Waller, who's an underrated, under the radar tight end.
Yeah.
I don't
Really
even know
good.
that he's under the
No,
radar
he's-
anymore.
well, I
he
guess
had games last year where
he's-
the defense knew he was going to get the
He's
ball and
their
they couldn't
number one
stop him.
target.
Yeah,
He's becoming that Kelsey.
and Josh Jacobs, solid running back, not
Solid.
spectacular, but
Right.
he's solid. I got the Browns at 3. They're weak at second wide receiver. They're average at tight end. They have one, but their running back group is so good that it brings them up to 3.
Yes.
In terms of depth, I don't think the Browns are top 3, but in terms of eliteness, they are because the running game is so good.
And what do you have? We haven't heard the Chargers. I have the Chargers
Chargers-
coming at 5.
I have the Chargers at 5 ahead of the Browns.
I forgot the Chargers too, and
Yeah.
they're 5 because
They're insane.
their running back Austin Eckler is highly underrated,
Yes.
but they don't have another back. Their other backs are all terrible. Keenan Allen, one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. They don't have who's that? I can't think of who their tight
They
end
signed
is.
Mike Williams back.
They signed Mike.
Yeah,
I can't think of
Williams
who
is
their- I
back
don't
in
think
that
they have a
offense.
standout tight end. That I'm
Well,
Jared Cook's their tight end.
So
he's
Cook.
not very good.
He's older.
He's all right.
Does that stay your top 3? Do the Browns stay your top 3 though if it's Jacoby Brissett at quarterback? Same skill position.
I was not factoring that in for me. Here's number 2, and then nobody's mentioned this team, and they're really good. The Denver Broncos.
I was going to say that.
They're going to be sneaky good.
First of all, their backfield is right there with the Browns. Maybe a pinch below. Javonte Williams as a rookie last year was phenomenal. And Melvin Gordon is the most underrated running back in all of football. All this guy does is perform, and people want to he's not that good. The fantasy community hates him. He catches both of those guys. Both of those guys are well-rounded running backs, okay? Denver's got 3 good wide receivers. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got
Coming off injury.
I can't-
And now Russ is running the show.
and Russ has run the
so
show.
everybody's going to be better.
But the Bengals are definitely number 1, and people can accuse me of being biased. I try to keep my fandom out of it.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are elite at by far the best wide receiving core in the AFC. I don't even think it's close.
I think I agree with that.
And Joe Mixon, I don't agree, is overrated. Now, I don't think he's as good as Nick Chubb.
Who's behind
and
him?
the Bengals don't have a good number 2 running back. But Joe Mixon is a top 10 NFL running back. So you have a very good running back, the best wide receiving core, and a serviceable tight end.
Yeah.
So I got them number 1.
Your point, Mike, that he's had one good year. I think we've now seen Mixon in the offense of the future for the Bengals.
Yeah.
With that wide receiving core that really emerged last year. They already had good guys, but I think they went from, top 5 in the AFC way up the food chain. I think because of the rookie wide receiver that, Chase comes in there and is immediately changing everyone's life. The way
Right.
teams defend them. The way
You wouldn't trade Chase for any wide receiver in the NFL.
I don't know that I would because
No.
he's so young.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He had
Plus the chemistry with Burrow, so
it's
you wouldn't
there.
do that. You're
It's
right,
there.
yeah.
They've been working on it for years when they were together at LSU. I can't quite put the Bengals at number 1. I think, guys, it's the Bills' turn. I think the Bills.
I just don't like any. I
know you
love
don't like their
Stephon
running
Diggs,
backs,
but
but
I don't like their running backs, or they don't have a tight end either.
To
Really.
G. Bush's point, I think the Bills are at the stage now where here's what they're saying. They're wearing it on their shirts walking into the stadium.
Yeah.
We're throwing it 50 times. See what you can do to
it.
stop it.
That's
And
it.
and last year, it worked. Now, it didn't work all the way to where they wanted it to,
Yeah,
but I think they're a year deeper into this all-in commitment on the pass game.
Yep.
At some point, they are going to have to run the ball. We
But they
know
have
that.
no. Stephon Diggs is their only elite skilled
Let me
position
ask
player.
you this. I would
I
as
mean,
a Browns
we're not-
fans, I would rather play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, right, than Allen. If you guys in the Bengals, I think the Bengals would say, hey, give me the Chiefs. I don't want no parts of Josh Allen them. Like everybody, the Chiefs are great, but right now Josh Allen is knocking on the door. That's 5,000 yards. And he's running the ball.
I think I was not.
That's the key.
To me, the quarterback was a non-factor, and that's why in this conversation,
That's
and
how you
that's
have to
why.
consider it. It's a different argument.
And that's why
really-
I had the Bills and Chiefs
It is
lower.
a different argument.
Yeah.
So the reason the Browns aren't in my top 5 is because of the quarterback. So again, I know that
Yeah.
we're not counting the quarterback in this equation.
Yeah.
But let's face it, the quarterback is the hub to that wheel.
So then you are putting the quarterback in this
You
equation.
can't have this discussion without it.
Well, then we should have had 2 lists.
Yeah.
One with Jacoby Brissett and one
Well,
with Deshaun
I
Watson.
just look at the reality of, okay, who is your quarterback?
Right.
I'm not factoring that player into my But you're right. I mean, you can't do that math without figuring out who's
I
running
was
the
judging
offense.
them in a vacuum based on just those players.
Well,
Okay,
but
that's how I look at
was
it.
in a
judging-
vacuum,
and I was
is
judging them
Travis
based-
Kelce is good in Kansas City if Jacoby Brissett is their quarterback? No.
Right.
So
I was judging them based on a Google on the car ride here. Just to
that,
be
you know,
fair.
that might be the best approach.
Yeah.
I have the Bills at number 1. I still think the Chiefs, again, I know it's not in this equation, but as long as Mahomes is the trigger guy in that offense, he's going to make everybody on the field better, so I had to factor that into my equation. I still have the Chiefs at number 2. I think the Bengals at number 3.
Yep.
The Chargers, with Eckler is so
Love Eckler,
good
yeah.
and so diverse at what that guy brings to the table. And I think their quarterback is going to be, he's already in the
he's
discussion.
excellent.
Guys,
Yeah.
you know what's so devastating about this? Just doing this exercise right here just points out the fact that no matter, and I want everybody to drill down on this, understand this, it does not matter if you get Deshaun Watson or not. 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the line, we are sitting here saying the Browns could still not even be in the Super Bowl. That's how good
That's
the
how
AFC
good the AFC
is.
is
Yes.
right now.
That's
Yes.
it. We haven't talked about Carr. We pushed Russell Wilson aside. Not to mention Ryan Tannehill had a bad year last year, but the Titans won the division.
I think they're going to go backwards, though. They lost their best receiver.
Their defense is super good.
It is,
Their
but-
defense is going to carry them this year. And
Broader question for the grown-ups. That's you guys. Why is the AFC? Why is that imbalance? How did that imbalance happen all of a sudden?
Because all the young, good quarterbacks are in the AFC.
So, but I understood. Like, how did it happen?
because it puts more pressure on the teams that don't have elite
Yes.
quarterbacks to
I
go
see.
out and get
Right,
them.
yes,
And
right,
Denver was in that mix.
Yep.
The Browns.
Cleveland was in that mix. Now, obviously, Houston's already in the AFC.
Sure.
But I just think that part of it's just fluke. You know,
Yeah.
it's just random. But when you look at the list of quarterbacks in the AFC, to your point, I don't think the number of teams has ever been higher than it will be this year for teams that you could say at the beginning of the season could legitimately go to the Super Bowl. Usually
sure.
in the AFC, there's 3 or 4.
There's 10.
New England always used to be. And
Yeah.
by the way,
And they still in it.
don't be kicking dirt on the Patriots.
Right, they're still there.
Because
I don't consider them a Super Bowl
I know
contender.
you don't, but
Yeah.
a lot of people
But
do.
some people do.
A lot of people do.
McNuggets, you got something?
Yeah,
He
you guys
wants
have
to
missed
move it on.
Well, you missed an obvious team, the Dolphins. Getting Tyreek Hill with Jalen
Yeah.
Waddle. They signed Raheem Mostert. They re-signed
Right,
Mike
but,
Gesicki. You take
again-
the quarterback out of the equation, the skill positions
know.
themselves
Yeah.
are really good.
We're
Yeah.
taking quarterback out of the equation, right? But you still have to take into account who's getting the football
I'm
to
just
these
saying,
guys.
the question is of the skill position players. Look at like from a Madden standpoint.
Yes,
their
that's how-
Madden ratings would be
that's
higher.
how-
That's
Yeah.
how I was judging it, Mike. You're
That's
right.
how the question was poised.
You're
Both
right.
me and you. It's the
Miami's
East
a good
Coast.
team. I don't like their running game, though.
They did sign Mostert though from
Yeah, but who's
San
he?
Francisco.
Oh,
yeah, no,